Hi, and welcome or welcome back to the Imperfectly Charming podcast. Today, I have a special guest with me. I am doing a series of interviews for the Lake County Joy Summit that will be happening in Zion, Illinois at the end of January 2026. I believe January 31st, 2026. And my guest is one of the speakers, and I'm thrilled to have her on. And I am going to read your bio before we get started. I'd like to introduce Dr. Dominique Pritchett. She's on a mission to create cultures of wellness where people are valued as souls, not statistics. A first generation graduate with a doctorate in clinical psychology and a master's in clinical social work. She is the founder of Speak to the Soul, Beloved Wellness Center, and Space for Sistas. Thousands have learned from her principles on evolving mental capacity to achieve success both personally and professionally. Her insights have been featured in BBC London Radio, Shondaland, Success, and Women's Health magazine. Among others, Dr. Dominique is a catalyst for generational impact. Welcome, Dr.
Thank you.
Dominique.
Thank you so much.
It is such a pleasure and a privilege to have you here with us today. Is there anything I left off on your bio that you'd like to add?
No, Cheryl, I think I want to hire you as my personal hype person because you did that bio good justice. So thank you.
Oh, you are welcome. Okay, well, I'm going to just start opening with a question that I've got here. So, the theme of this year's Joy Summit is Here Comes the Sun, a day devoted to hope, light, and renewal. Your session is going to be titled Capacity Over Chaos, which feels like a natural fit for that message. What does that title mean to you personally, and why do you believe it's so relevant now?
Personally, I have gone through many instances of burnout throughout my career. And even when I go back to my childhood, I was a parentified child. And so having my childhood stolen even before I had a chance to live it, I was already burnt out as a young person. And so over the years, I started having conversations with myself, my therapist, my clients, and other people saying there has to be a different approach to life. And so I discovered this concept of capacity. You've heard it 1,000 times, capacity, capacity. But most people look at capacity as it relates to their health and wellness as expanding. Oh, I can add more. There's 24 hours in one day, but I can do 29 hours of work. But if we really narrowed it down and as relates to joy and hope and, optimism, capacity is our internal bandwidth. It is the space between what life demands of us and what we actually have to sustain it in real time. This includes our mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, relational energy we have to show up every day. The thing with capacity is resilience celebrates us in the aftermath. Capacity challenges us to handle hard in real time.
I love that. So, when you talk about capacity and someone learning for the first time what that word means, and can you explain why it's essential to our mental and emotional health when hearing that for the first time?
Mhm.
Capacity, because like you said, it's a different, it can mean something totally different than
Yeah,
what you're referring to here.
yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure you all have heard the concept of balance, work-life balance and all this stuff. Here's the thing. Balance is too basic. Balance doesn't give us instruction. Balance creates this perfectionism, this false sense of I gotta balance or hold all the balls in the air because if one drops, I'm failing. If one drops, that's a determining factor of my capability. So when we think of capacity, I want you to think of the evolution of coping by the minute, by the day, by the hour. When I talk about capacity, again, I'm referring to what can you handle now? And the key is not to deplete yourself in the process. Because balance, says you got to do it all because everything's a priority. And then you have nothing left over to enjoy with your family. You have nothing left over for yourself and the things you love, your hobbies, volunteering. So capacity isn't about doing more. Okay. Balance says you can take on more because find that work life balance. That's unrealistic, y'all. Capacity isn't about doing more. It's about aligning with what actually gives what we actually have. I want you to translate that concept of balance to harmony. What makes sense to accomplish or to tackle today based on the energy you have, the resources you have, and your capacity to cope in that moment. Because too often, as I said a few minutes ago, people confuse capacity with what they're capable of. We know we're capable of handling a lot, especially at a time like now when we look at the social political climate. You can be capable of doing something, but you may not have the capacity to sustain it. So why keep burning the candle at both ends?
That is such good information. The other day, I was talking with a group of women, and we were talking about centering in the heart.
Mm.
And one of the things that I gave them as a tool is when you get up in the morning, you put your hand on your heart and you ask, "What do I need today? What do I need?" And I think that kind of can fall in with your topic of capacity. What do I have the capacity for today? Like you
Absolutely.
said, with this
Absolutely.
climate today, everybody just is living in a state of chaos and overwhelm and just doing more than they really can be doing just to survive.
Absolutely. I'm glad you said that because we are all in a constant state of survival. Some of us have more resources than other people. Some of us adapt faster, all the strengths that we've used to get through a lot of hard stuff. But we are living through an era of chronic urgency where chaos has become the default for people. So when you get to wake up in the morning and put your hand over your heart and just say, what do I need right now? What can I give that's realistic? Who do I need that can help me? A lot of times we spend a lot of energy on how am I going to get it all done? I need you to slow down and ask yourself, who can help me and what do I have right now? Because when we think about the era we're living in, and you talked about survival, people are running on empty, but we have employers, we have family members, people at church wanting more and more and more. So whether you are a professional all the way to parenthood, many of us are over functioning, but also feel under supported.
Yes.
So
And
instead of that whole, how am I going to get, wait, who do I know that can help me? I believe those types of questions, and as your hand is over your heart, it allows you to pace yourself. Because when we look at life, it's like a race. Because if we pace ourselves too fast, we pace ourselves out of support, coping skills, etc.
and sometimes it's as simple as maybe I need rest,
Totally.
right? Like, or even how can I be kind to myself today?
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether I'm working with a client in my therapy practice or I'm going into a company or a community organization, I always ask them, what are the systems that are in place, home or a company, what are the systems in place that prevents opportunities for you to be kind to yourself, that condones, I need you to function in chaos because that's how we've always done it.
Mm.
So you got to have those hard conversations with yourself because what we know you can survive, but emotional and mental health has a very hard time flourishing in chaos. And
Yeah.
it's often the systems that we're not challenging, internal or external, and that we are not course correcting in real time. But we keep trying to keep up with that system when it's no longer serving us.
Mm-hmm. And another thing that I read that you work on too is also things that go unaddressed. They drain our joy and distort how we show up.
Mhm,
How can we start noticing when that is happening? And actually, it may be starting out by coming to a joy summit and
mhm,
listening to these three
mhm.
wonderful speakers that we have. Is there any advice you could give people on what's a small step towards our healing?
Absolutely. One thing I want you all to keep in mind is just because you didn't deal with something doesn't mean it's not going to show up sooner than later or when you least expect it. Our body is keeping score of all the things we're exposed to, the stressors, the witnessing our friends getting laid off, or you going through your own journey. And so when we are internalizing that, remember, we don't always see it. And that's the most dangerous type of stress or chaos when we really don't know how it's affecting us just yet. And so if your capacity is low to handle all the things that you're facing, what we don't see is our nervous system is in overdrive. Or we may see it, we're acting out. Maybe we might go up in substance use, or maybe we're not sleeping well, or we're snapping at our family members. All of those are signs that your capacity is really, really low and it needs attention.
Is that when you speak with talking about the survival mode? Is that where are we in our survival mode during that time?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because our nervous system is designed to protect us. So even survival can look like procrastination. Survival can look like perfectionism. If when you all come and hear my talk, you're going to hear me talk about some of the wounds that we hold on to, but also some of the internal parts that show up. So absolutely, they're designed to protect us, to help us survive, even though they might look a little dysfunctional. I call
Mm.
them the dysfunctional cousins that's inside of us. Kind of, they're in us, but we see them as painful or hurtful. But when we think about it, something like procrastination or perfectionism, we really want the best for ourselves, but we are acting out things that are unresolved through those behaviors. And
And I'm guess oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, please.
I was going to say, and I'm guessing you're going to teach us some ways to help us get out of those unaddressed areas.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you will be scratching the surface. And so I'm going to help you name them. I'm going to help name what's likely happening within your body, and so that you can have language to describe to other people. So being able to name it, you can tame it type thing. But also, I'm going to help you understand what role is that part of your nervous system showing, or that internal part that's trying to protect you, and then how we can start evolving our capacity to handle chaos and hard in real time.
That sounds like an incredible opportunity for people to take that first step and start healing some of those unaddressed areas in their lives.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I invite you all, don't look at healing as this big to do or big to da. Look at it as what are the smallest things I can, one, be better aware of, because without that awareness, we're just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping it sticks. So healing starts when there is an awareness that I'm not liking this version of me, or this has to change, or this person can't go with me in the next version of my life. The cost of living in constant chaos without nurturing is it's costing you time, perhaps absenteeism, you're disengaged, fatigue, all of those things. We call it the emotional tax of being on in chaos. And so
Okay.
when you think about healing, it starts with that awareness. Then we get to kind of create an action plan of, okay, I'm gonna tackle that thing. And then we get to measure what's working, what's not working. There is hope in chaos.
Yeah. There is. And when you talked about the little things that we do, oh my gosh, I have been on a healing journey for years. You know, two steps forward, a couple steps back, but you know, you're always netting those steps forward. And every little bit like this helps us on our journey
Yeah.
of healing. And
When we don't test out and see could this healing journey thing work for me, well, let me try something, Cheryl tried, and see if that works for me. When we don't test out how healing can be a part of our life, when the stress is left unaddressed, it I call it cumulative harm. We emotionally shut down. We are
mm,
missing glorious days, even in the social chaos. You still deserve to have moments of peace and joy. Because when we don't address the things that's zapping our capacity, we start normalizing dysfunction.
mm,
The small stress becomes a chronic crisis.
yes, yes, especially in today's climate for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And if we can be transparent, we haven't seen the gist of it, regardless of what side of the aisle you are on. I'm pretty sure you know someone that is being affected, who have had resources that have tapped away, and you're kind of like, oh, I feel so bad. Remember, the stress may not be directed towards you. However, if you, it's like excuse me, a pebble you throw in a pond. The pebble that hits the water is the epicenter of the crisis, and all the ripples that come after it. Maybe some of it landed on you. Maybe that child interacted with your child at school. So the state of The world right now is all of our problem. So just because it's not directly happening to you, remember, we have to play a part in healing collectively and individually. That is how we get to experience joy, even when we don't have the answers to everything.
Well, I know that I'm excited to hear what you have to say at this summit for sure. And as you look at your life right now, in your personal and professional, what brings you joy? What helps keep your own sun shining bright?
Mm. I call it my micro doses. And joy, despite what life is happening, joy to me are the things that are unwavering. You know, my gratitude brings me joy. My 5.5 pound Yorkie, she brings me joy because dogs don't take life personal. They like, look, just feed me and love on me. But my
Unconditional love.
unconditional. But I look at micro joys, my health, my gratitude, my ability to serve, and also my ability to get rest without it being a requirement to something.
Well, I appreciate everything you have to offer to bring to the table today, and I know that the audience is going to be in love with what you have to say and what your teachings are. I love your bright lights. I love what you're teaching. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us before I let you go today?
No, just thank you for the opportunity to be here. I truly appreciate any opportunity I get to touch someone's life, whether it is through media, therapy, speaking, or whatever. And if y'all are listening to this, remember you don't have to earn joy. You don't have to earn rest, and you do not have to earn the opportunity to start healing yourself. That is a privilege, and I need you to take advantage of it.
Well said. Well said. And I appreciate you so much. And I thank you for coming on and being a guest. And I can't wait to meet you in person at the Joy Summit in January.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye.